broadcasting live from the Mile High City in Denver, Colorado. You're listening to Bronco Planet, brought to you by the Denver Broncos Booster Club, home of the greatest fans in the NFL.
Well, hey there, folks. It's Shad and Danny. Welcome to Bronco Planet. Shaddy, week number 2 in the books. Big divisional rival coming into town. It's big, however you see it. Denver inking out a close one, Shad. 24-17, in which was a game I don't think anybody really saw coming.
The Broncos remind me right now of most of my classes back in high school. Way harder than it needs to be. Not that hard. Come on, this is not the Chiefs team that went to the playoffs, Danny, last year. This is a team that has lost 5 starters, 3 last week. They lose 2 while we're playing them. Jamal Charles, he's out.
Arguably their best offensive and their best defensive.
Come on, Barry's out.
Right.
You should be clobbering this team. I know, John Fox, we get it. I've heard all blah, blah, blah. A win's a win. Yes, we understand it.
We do get that.
It's an AFC West win. Good job. You're up by 1 game.
It's a divisional win.
But that is some sloppy play yet again. 5 freaking offsides penalties. It was a mess, Danny.
You know, there's another saying out there, Shad, and this could, I'll direct this at John Fox. It's you know, you can polish a turd all you want, it's still a turd. And man, when it was that first series, bam, 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 right down the field, Julius Thomas touchdown, I'm thinking, here we go. It's going to be on. And it was just unbelievable how quickly that unraveled on both sides of the football. I've never seen a defensive, and I'm not even going to say effort, because I don't think it was a matter of effort. I think everybody gave good effort, but just the mental lapses. It was, and believe me when I say, folks, I'm not a numbers guy. I leave that up to Mr. C Average here. It was
C plus,
yeah, well, whatever. But it was,
I had a PE class.
Yeah, it was just 9 defensive penalties, 4 that turned into first downs for the Kansas City Chiefs. A pick 6 taken off the board for Talib. I was just absolutely going out of my freaking mind. And what does that equate to? 2/3 of the total 60 minutes, the Kansas City Chiefs had the football. Folks, you're not going to win many games playing week in, week out like that.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it last week. I think where the Broncos do well, and as you remember last year, a lot of points scored in the second half. If games are close, I think they just execute their game plan as usual. The problem is, we saw it last week. We saw it against New England last year. We saw it in the playoffs, that dreaded Baltimore game a couple years ago. We cannot hold the lead, or it's just John Fox and Jack Del Rio, who've both been fired before, just for the record. They like to keep it close. They like to prevent. That was absolutely ridiculous. Something like 3rd and 20. They decide to rush 3 people. We counted it, Danny. 7.5 seconds Alex Smith had. Hey, with the rules today, it doesn't matter how great of a defensive back you are. 7 seconds. Danny's mother, Diane, we love you, could complete some passes on that. So absolutely ridiculous there. And we've got to get tougher on earlier in the field. It's like we do great at the 20 and under, right? But that middle of the field, and then when you finally stop them, we get silly penalties. We push the quarterback, we jump off sides. A lot of Mickey Mouse. There's a lot of discipline that needs to happen. And I'm sorry, Broncos fans, expectations are right here. All right, we got to the Super Bowl. That's not good enough. We want to win, and you're not going to win if you can barely get by mediocre teams. I know there's a lot of parity in the league right now, Danny, but we got to play better, and you got to do it for fourth quarter. 10 lousy points we have so far in 2 games in the second half.
Well, when you talk about numbers, you guys just went and invested $30 million defensively so we could compete with a team like Seattle. And let's be honest, that's why Elway and company built this team, was to go in and be them, to beat them. And what I saw last Sunday, oh my gosh, you know, and you don't think there's some nail biting going on this coming? You know, Seattle's coming off a loss. You don't think they're, you know, the chip on their shoulder, Shad, right now is not a little bigger? Everybody's, and I don't care what players say, I don't care what coaches say. Human nature dictates. Both teams have circled next Sunday on their calendar and have the day after the Super Bowl ended. It's that big of a game, and quite honestly, Denver needs to find themselves. And I don't know if it's a coaching issue, if it's a player issue, if it's an us issue or a you issue, but whatever this issue is, it needs to get fixed in a hurry. if you're going to lay it down and make that statement, this Sunday is that week to do it.
Without a doubt. And we've been pretty critical right now. We're gonna move on to some positive things. So let's just talk real quick about some of those. Demaryius Thomas, all right, outstanding. Comes back, had a few drops the first week, comes back, great one-handed touchdown catch, caught everything Peyton threw at him, and thanks to Chris Clark, well, that's a little negative, but down the field, there he goes. He goes all the way to the house.
I did send Demaryius Thomas a little care package from Lester Hayes, a little something on the gloves.
Well, hey, that
seemed to work. Yeah.
Demaryius playing good. I think Julius Thomas outside getting his butt chewed by Peyton that one time for obviously not running the right. He either didn't clear out of the zone and cluttered it up, or he didn't block.
His man out. Yeah, he didn't clear his man out.
And so Julius getting an earful. But I think Julius looks great. Emmanuel Sanders, all right, courtesy clap, gets his first 100-yard game ever. So great job for Sanders.
Right.
So that was impressive. So I mean, there are some good things happening. I think Chris Harris looking awfully good, and some people were critical of Von Miller, but I think Von's coming along just fine. I mean, he got a I'm in his camp on this one. You know, who I'm critical is Andre Caldwell, but that's a whole nother story. Come on, Cody Latimer, guy you drafted, much better. But anyway, Miller's doing a lot better.
Yeah,
he had a sack. He's diving around. He's a little winded. I know he got a little growing pull at the end. He's coming along, and I think we'll be all right there. I'm not hearing much from Derek Wolfe. Linebackers a little shaky this last week.
Danny Trevathan, you know, the nice thing about as weeks go by is that we're 1 week closer to getting Danny Trevathan in. A guy like Brandon Marshall, again, comes in, does the yeoman's work. Was he spectacular? No. Did he give it up? Not really. I mean, it was just an average game, but honestly, it was, and again, it just looked like an average defense. And I think, honestly, that's really what really kind of got us all upset. Mr. Roby, once again, kind of quiet, but
yeah, no, I think he's coming along just fine. For
I think
totally happy with his progress.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. There's the feeling after that first drive just kind of shifted, and I think that's really what this whole deal is about, Shad. And again, when you lay it all down to expectations, can't speak for the rest of you out there that are watching this video, but I can tell you that the expectations are so high for us, and as an organization, I'm sure they are as well. But it just comes back to the neck and being able to play with a lead confidently, strongly, and just laying it down and then walking away after 60 minutes and just saying, man, we really stuck it to them.
No, absolutely. That's what we need. We need 4 full quarters. 10 points is all we've scored in the second half if you look at the first 2 games.
Ask yourself this question.
Yes,
this is one more stat that I'm going to throw out. When is the last time that you saw a Denver Bronco offense have 2 possessions in an entire half of football?
Yeah, it's been
that happened in the second. It's been a very, very long time. And
get them off the field, folks.
Defense got some work for sure. But getting off the field on third down obviously was the big problem. But hopefully that gets addressed. It's going to be, it's going to need to be addressed here in short order. It'll be quite interesting to see, in lieu of what San Diego did to the Seattle Seahawks, and specifically the matchup that Richard Sherman had with a little bit of trouble. Maybe it is these smaller, shiftier guys that give a guy like Sherman some trouble. Maybe you'd line up an Emmanuel Sanders on him and see what happens.
Well, here's the thing: you go on reputation for a while, and we saw with our own hero, Champ Bailey here. Forever, people said, "Don't throw at Champ," and they didn't throw at Champ. But then they said, "Hey, you know what? We got to test this guy." And when they started testing him, they saw some weaknesses. In his last 2 years, Champ was getting tested almost every time he was out there. Richard Sherman, what Green Bay did the week before was ridiculous. They totally ignored him, and they only played half the field. Against him, you have to attack, and we've got great weapons. I think Denver's going to play very competitive, and I think if it's close, I think Denver can win. What I'm worried about is if they get ahead, that's when I worry about this team right now. I just don't think we have the guts and the mustard really to go get it. That's what I'm worried about.
Well, we're gonna leave the game breakdown at that. We're gonna leave the negativity there. Granted, we did, there was a few little nuggets of goodness there, and hopefully, bottom line is that Denver comes away from this game. Each and every week, we hope that you learn something, that you make the adjustments, but still, it still seems that we always circle back around, Chad, to that one thing young with the killer instinct. So we're going to take a quick break, pay the bill, so to speak.
Yeah, we love Bill's Sports Collectibles. You've been watching Bronco Planet for 4 years. We've been partnering with Bill's. It's absolutely the best Bronco store anywhere in the country. It's not vanilla like you go to Sports Authority. There's the three same jerseys. You go to Walmart. This is like programs, cards, bobbleheads, plates, old school helmets, new school helmets, autographs. I mean, you could spend literally a half a day in Bill's and see the best Bronco stuff you ever got your hands on. We decorate all of our studios with it. I've invested most of my kids' college future in Bill's.
That's true.
You know, community college is all right, kids. We love Bill's, and here's a little bit from Bill's.
Hey Broncos fans, looking for a sports store that covers all your Denver Broncos needs? Look no further. Bill's Sports Collectibles has you covered. Located off of Broadway in downtown Denver, Bill's has the largest selection of Denver Broncos memorabilia anywhere in the county. Looking for autographed helmets and jerseys? Bill's has you covered. How about old classic Broncos memorabilia, like famous Orange Crush cans? Bill's has you covered. Needing a favorite old school jersey or perhaps the latest Peyton Manning jersey? You guessed it, Bill's has you covered. So wait no longer, Denver Broncos fans. Bill's Sports Collectibles has you covered, serving customers since 1981.
I believe my last purchase from Bill's Shed was the Orange Crush collector cans. I believe you're one of
the whole set, baby.
Yeah, the whole set. Yeah, it's just absolutely amazing what Bill's has, and he's been a friend of the show for so long, folks. For the love of God, go on down, see Bill's. It's almost Mecca for Denver Bronco football fans.
And it's not just us that like Bill's. Guess what? Every time we give out prizes, 99% of the times those prizes came from Bill. And since the Broncos got to win, why not roll to the prize monkey, baby?
Cue that monkey.
Prize monkey, that monkey's funky.
Say what?
Prize monkey, that monkey's funky.
Alrighty, Shetty, this week's Prize Monkey, we want to acknowledge a couple of folks. One being Brett Sexton, was kind enough to go on our YouTube channel and comment on last week's video. We got a Richard Upchurch.
Yeah.
That's his Christian name. Rick Upchurch is the guy we all know and love. And congratulations to you, Brett. All you need to do is contact us either through YouTube, through Facebook, or the Denver Bronco Booster Club. We'll get you addressed. We'll get you a very, very cool Rick Upchurch card.
Also, we gave out an 8x10 picture to Steve Cochran of signed by Rick Upchurch. What a great weekend seeing Gene and Rick and Dan Reeves. We got to go spend a little time with them. Great guys. All three overdue. So we're excited about that. And I do want to call out my special barrel man. When is the barrel man ever going to get in the Ring of Fame?
I don't know. You know something?
Is there one guy that represents the fans more than the barrel man? Why can he not be up there?
Probably more popular than Dan Reeves.
Yeah, well, Dan
Just
Reeves
saying.
was a good guy.
Still saying, you know something, there are fans, and then there are super fans, and nothing, and you know something, he just keeps growing as time goes on. It's been, what, 5 years now, 5 seasons that we've gone forward without the barrel man, and each and every day, you know, his lovely wife, Becky, does so much work. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it's just,
love him.
Yep. It's
Great
just completely something that forever will just have this hole in the heart, a feeling of emptiness, and my gosh,
he's always here's my favorite part is at the end of a Bronco game. You know, they play those late games. You start seeing that sunset over the Rocky Mountains, and you think about when the barrel man passed away. Drew Litton, who's also on Bronco Planet. If you're not seeing his cartoons every week, twice a week, you're crazy, people. Go check out Drew Litton. But he drew a nice picture where he had the barrel man's up there. He gets to the Golden Gates, and what happens there? He's met and saying, "Hey, here's your job. You're in charge of sunsets." And so every time I see a sunset at the stadium, I think of the barrel man. Best super fan ever, Hall of Fame.
Right.
He's in there. We checked it out. Gotta love Becky.
Has a barrel there in Canton, if I'm not mistaken.
That is true.
So with that said, Shaddy, we're going to wrap this thing up. Big test coming up. The Seattle offense, you know, again, we're going to face another scrambling type of quarterback. You know, we had talked earlier prior to taping this show about a new stat here at Bronco Planet that we've invented. It's called the AS, or the almost sack stat. And with a guy like Russell Wilson, we can almost tackle him or almost, get him for a loss, almost sack him. It makes me a little nervous. He does have,
he's squirrely. There's no doubt about it.
He does have beast mode, and he does have a pretty good offensive line. So.
Yep. No, I think it's a great test for the Broncos. I mean, it's not a division game. It's not likely, going to impact their playoff chances too much, but there's that bad taste in your mouth. And you saw it happen. The Broncos got eliminated from the Baltimore Ravens 2 years ago. They came out, 7 touchdowns, got some revenge. We've invested a lot of money. We've got to do a better job of putting pressure on there. Our tackles for loss are down by, I don't know, I think if you look 2 years ago, we had 17. I think so far in the first 2 games, we have something like 5. Right. So we have got to figure out how to put some pressure on there. We really miss Danny Trevathan.
And getting the hell off the field on third down.
Yeah, get off.
That'll certainly be the key.
No stupid penalties.
Yeah,
when he says hike. And then they kept saying, how long? You've been playing football forever too, right? Watch the ball. Don't watch the guy's helmet. I heard like 3 people say, well, he kept moving his helmet. You're not looking at his helmet. Right. Look at the freaking ball. Come on, people.
All right, we're gonna shut this tirade down.
Win,
and cross fingers. Hope for a big Denver Bronco victory. So until next week, I'm Danny. This is Shad. You're watching Bronco Planet.